Hi, I'm Laura and welcome to class today. Today's class is going to be breathing and relaxing. So in times of stress, we have a system in our bodies that is stimulated called the sympathetic system. And in these stressful situations, that system causes our heart rate to get quicker. Obviously the adrenaline is then sent around the body. We can then get that feeling of shakiness, anxiety, heightened awareness, short of breath, tension in the body. So especially in times like this or in daily life, we can often find ourselves in these situations. And then this becomes then a habit in our body if it's done regularly. The body then holds on to that tension. So we're going to try and let that go today and activate what we call the parasympathetic system, also known as the rest and digest system. So it does the opposite to the sympathetic. So the parasympathetic system helps to reduce your heart rate, slow the breathing down, and it also helps to increase the function of our digestive system. So today we're going to focus on that and maybe just give ourselves some tools that we can use during our day. So I'm going to do this laying down because sometimes I think the feedback from the floor really helps, but you can also do this breathing and relaxing in a sitting position, on a chair, and make sure wherever you are that you are supported, okay? So I do have some props with me today. I have a head block or something that I can prop my head up on. I do have a ball with me because if you do have a ball, sometimes it's quite nice to have the ball underneath the back of the head. So you can choose anything that you have around the house, rolled up towel, pillow, a blanket. And we're going to get started. So whether it's sitting, laying down, we're going to make our way. So as we come all the way down, I'll find the position we want to be in. What we want to make sure that we're using any props that we need to make ourselves feel comfortable. So if we're laying, we're going to have our knees bent and our feet flat, but we may want something underneath the head, or we may want to prop the tailbone under the pelvis up a little if that feels more comfortable for your lower back. Or if you're sitting, you might want to sit on top of something or support your lower back with some pillows. And just rest your arms at the sides of your body and feel free to close your eyes here. And we're just going to take some moments to focus in on our body. So natural breath at the moment. And we'll start at our head and we're just going to scan from the head to the toes, down the arms to the fingertips. And notice if we've got any tight areas in our bodies. And again, just noticing, not changing them. And maybe notice our heart rate if you can feel that, the depth of the breath, and again not changing it, just observing. So how does the brow feel, the forehead? Is it quite tight and wrinkled? How about the cheeks, the jaw, is it quite tense? How about the neck? Back of the neck might feel tight, the shoulders might naturally feel elevated up to the ears. How about the spine? Does it feel tense? Maybe you're gripping the back muscles and the back ribs are lifting, maybe the lower back as well. And just as you're breathing naturally, where is your breath? So is it in the rib cage? Is it up in the collarbones? Or is it down in your belly? And then going down the length of our arms, so just noticing the fingers curled, the elbows locked or relaxed. And the same feeling in the legs, so noticing how the pelvis and the hip joints feel, the knees, thigh bones, the shins, the ankles, and then all the way down to the toes. And keeping your eyes closed if you wish, we're just going to place one hand on the lower belly and then the other hand above that hand, but both hands are still remaining on the belly area. And adjust your elbows if you need so that they're resting on the mat or just somewhere comfortable if you're sitting. And we're going to continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And I want you to start to actively, on your in-breath, fill the belly. And on your out-breath, allow the belly to release down. So you'll notice that on your in-breath, as you fill the belly, the hands raise up. And as the belly lowers, the lungs empty, the hands release down. So the expanding of the belly is raising the hands. The narrowing, the release of the belly is lowering the hands. And this is what we call diaphragmatic breathing, or belly breath. So when we fill the lungs with oxygen, what happens with the diaphragm that sits at the bottom of the lungs, along the rim of the rib cage, is that the diaphragm drops down. It domes down into the belly, and that expands the belly. And then as the lungs empty, the diaphragm draws up into the rib cage cavity. It relaxes. So what we're doing here is exercising our diaphragm to allow more air in our lungs and more air out of our lungs. This is going to help increase our lung capacity. And the movement of the diaphragm going down into our belly towards our organs and then up is going to give those organs a massage, and that's how it helps with digestion. And keep going with this breath, and I just want you to feel that on each out breath, the back of the body is being supported by the floor. You can let go because you know the floor is there to help support you. So the deeper our breathing, the more we breathe in this way, that we're activating our parasympathetic system. We're slowing our heart rate, increasing the function of our digestive system. It calms the mind, so just notice what's happening up in your mind. And if you find that your mind wanders, which is absolutely natural, you're just going to keep your mind coming back to your breathing. And I'd just like you to do one more breath like this. And then release your arms. And the arms come back to the sides of the mat. And just really quickly observe the body again. So is it feeling a little bit more relaxed now? Maybe your breathing feels slower, maybe not. Are those tighter areas released? And then this time we're going to find our hands on our ribs. So bring your hands to your front bottom ribs, gently slide them wide. If it feels more comfortable for you, you can cross your arms over, so opposite hand on the opposite ribs. And I want you to just start to breathe again. And this time on your in-breath, Imagine the sides and the back of the rib cage expanding out to the side walls and down into the floor. And on your out breath, let the rib cage narrow. Draw it in closer towards your spine. So this time we're focusing our breath in our rib cage rather than our belly. And this becomes our lateral thoracic breathing. And this is the breath that we practice in Pilates. And it's another way of breathing that helps us connect with our parasympathetic system, helps to connect our mind to our body, and again slows our heart rate down. But the difference between this breath and diaphragmatic breathing is that we're trying to keep the belly still this time. And during our Pilates classes, breathing thoracically is going to help us keep the engagement of our transverse abdominis, our pelvic floor. So I want you to really gently notice now how you can lift the pelvic floor, draw the navel in, just enough without affecting the breath in your rib cage. And each breath that you do, can you relax the back of the body again? Now, as well as bringing ourselves into the parasympathetic system to help us relax, this is going to help open up the ribs again. So increasing our lung capacity, stretching the muscles of the thoracic area of our body, our thorax. And if we specifically have tightness on one side more than the other, so maybe you're feeling that you're breathing into one lung more than the other, this is a good breathing pattern to practice laying on your side. So let's try this in a different way. So if we keep our right hand on our rib cage and just lower your left arm down, and I want you to try and just breathe into where the right hand is. Not forcing it to happen, just allowing. And another thing you could do is place the left hand on the rib cage, but feel that you're almost trying to draw that side of the rib cage down into the floor. And just take one more breath into the right side. And just take a moment to release that and just come back to your natural breathing again. Relax any muscles that may have tensed up, because that's a different way of breathing, so we may have found that other muscles are trying to help us do that. And now let's imagine breathing into the left hand more, breathing and filling the left lung. And you can rest the right hand on the rib cage or by the side. And just imagine the right side being contracted and heavy. The left side open, free. And we're just going to do a couple more. And how does it differ to the right side? Both sides feel different to each other. And then as you come back, I'd like you to just release. Let your arms come back to the side of your body. And just allow your breath to slip back to natural flow, natural rhythm. So you might notice how the breath is more in the belly now, the ribs. It might be more equal. Allowing areas of tension to let go. releasing the jaw. And every part of the back of the body that's in contact with the ground almost sinks further into the floor, as if creating an imprint. So breathing is a great tool. I want you to just start to be aware of how you're feeling now compared to the beginning, or even prior to this class. If your eyes are closed, just gently open them. And we're going to move in any way that's good for our bodies, so we might want to rock side to side or stretch the arms overhead. Just allowing the movement to happen freely in the body, so not tensioning the muscles too much, just allowing the weight to move us. And in our own time, if we're laying on our back, we're going to make our way up to sitting. So we'll roll to the side. If you're sitting, just be more aware of where you are in space. And then as you come up, just be comfortable where the legs are, so any position that is good, and just again notice how the spine feels. And we'll take a final breath. So breathing in, reach the arms up and overhead. Breathe out and release the arms down. And one more time. So thank you very much for joining me today. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed than you did when you first started this class today. And feel free to use breathing whenever you need. So even if you're in the middle of doing something, and just focus on your breathing. Can you slow down your heart rate? Or use this as a tool throughout your day. So it might be that you take 10 minutes or before bed or as you wake up to just get into this zone. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell icon so that you get notifications for future classes. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye!